Hello, I'm Chris Schmidt. I'm the low brass instructor at Jeatley Music Studios, a studio that I own and have several other teachers lined up to teach there. And we're going to show you today how to approach practicing the all-county audition music, which takes a lot of preparation. So I'm recording this today at the end of January. If you get this video today, over the next 6 weeks, just follow the instructions I give you, and if you do that, you're going to be well prepared for a successful audition. Now, today I'm playing on a trombone. This one happens to have a trigger on it. If you don't have a trigger, all the C's you will probably want to do in 6th position if you do not have this trigger on the trombone. If you happen to have it, though, anytime you have a C, it'd be great to do that. Now, the first thing that they're going to ask you to play is a B-flat scale, concert B-flat scale on either the trombone or whatever other instrument you may be playing. I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. Now, when you play that scale, the number one thing that any judge is going to be looking for is your tone quality. If you don't play with a great sound, it's going to be hard to make the band, because great sounds are what we are always looking for in whatever instrument we've chosen to play. The next thing that they're going to be looking for is tempo. If you have a metronome and tuner, that is the best thing to use to prepare. Now on the sheet here, it says 108 beats a minute. That is way too fast to start learning that. And if we're going to prepare with 6 weeks like we have right now, I would start at about 72 beats a minute. I'm setting my metronome up right now to 72 beats, and then I start clicking. And then I'll play and stay right with that metronome. Now listen to me again at 72 beats a minute. Don't forget to unlock your slide. Now, if I start at that 72 beats a minute every day, just go up a couple of beats. In 6 weeks, I'll be able to play at 108 beats a minute, and it will sound good. It will sound like I've been doing it my whole life, and the judges will really enjoy your tone quality. Listen to it at 108 beats a minute. Now, another thing that judge may be listening to is the other part of what this tuner metronome app can do, and that's to tune. Watch as I play this first note. Shows that I'm sharp right now. Right above, I'm playing way too high. So I may need to make sure, and I've got this tuning slide pulled out. If yours may be all the way in or doesn't move at all, take it to a repair shop, make sure that it moves nice and easy and you have it out like that. Then when I play the B flat again, comes in tune. Now another thing, if you move your slide and it's still not in tune, you may be too tight right here. We don't want to take what needs to vibrate and make it not vibrate. So we don't ever want to play with this part of our lips too tight. This part can stay firm, but this never needs to be too tight. If you do that on your scale, you'll be well on your way to a great audition. Well, let's take a look at the other one. This one is not a scale. The bottom of the page is actually an etude, and the etude was written by Mozart a long time ago. Now, again, first thing I'm going to talk about is tempo. I'm going to play this for you how you should do it at the end of January, which is where we're at today. It says 96 to 104 beats a minute. I think starting at about 60 beats a minute would be about the way to start. Now also take a look. First note you have, dotted quarter note. Rhythm is very important. So you could start out setting your metronome, maybe even just taking your mouthpiece and just practicing the rhythm. And Stay right with it. You don't want to get ahead of or behind the metronome. And that's why we started so slow, so it gives us time to think. Now, after you've thought through it, maybe clapped through it, counted it, then you can start playing through it at this tempo of 60 beats a minute, where we're at the end of January. There's another thing on the metronome that you can set to the time signature. Both of these happen to be in 4/4. If you notice, every 4 beats, you hear a click. That's where you want to make sure you are as you're going through it. Whenever you're at the beginning of a measure, you're going to hear that. Now, let's see how this goes at 60 beats a minute. Starting there, we could hear every little mistake I made. The beginning of the second line, I needed to work on my articulation on that note. We could hear where I needed to work on making a more balanced crescendo in the second measure. If I start too fast, I'm just going to be thinking about getting the slide in the right position. I may not even be thinking about if the right note's coming out or not. So we have to start that slow to be able to think. Now, let's fast forward. I've done my due diligence, practicing every day for the 6 weeks. We get to about March 8th or 9th. I've slowly went up in my metronome. People sometimes think I'm texting when I'm doing this. I'm just setting the metronome. We get up to 104 beats a minute. And we are ready to go after 6 weeks of great practice. Then we'll sound like this. If you do your work, you'll sound great that day. The other thing they'll ask you to do is to do something called sight reading. Now, for me, sight reading is not something that we look at the very first time and play. As long as you've been practicing in your book, memorizing all your notes, and understanding how rhythms get, you're not really sight reading. You're just looking at a note that you played probably about 5,000 times already at this point in the year. And when you do that, it's just recalling what you've already done. The judge will give you 30 seconds to look at it. You study it, think about what it would sound like in here. As long as you know what these notes sound like on this every time before you play them, you'll know what they sound like in there. You'll play through those 4 measures. As long as you think about it and you're controlled, you'll do a great job. Now, one other thing that separates the people that usually do great auditions from the people that don't are the ones that do private lessons. This video is going to help you a lot, but there's also taking the time with somebody every week for a half an hour to let them know, and they will let you know how they feel like your progress has been. And there's several great teachers in the area, including me on this and a couple of other instruments. We hope to see you there sometime. Good luck on a successful audition. Best of luck to you.